Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Team Takeover interviews. My name is Ross, aka Takeover Sports, and today I am joined by the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach at West Virginia Wesleyan, Coach Zimmerman. How you doing, man?
Good, 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 good.
Good, good. I'm glad to hear you're doing
How
well,
are
man.
you?
I'm good. I'm good. I appreciate you sitting down with me. I know that this is kind of like a dead period, and then camps are about to start up real soon. And as soon as camps start up, we're full turn in football season. So I appreciate you taking some time out.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, before we kind of talk about the team and everything like that, I do want to kind of talk about your background and what kind of got you to this point now. So you graduated in 2009. What is it, Averett University for a degree in physical education. What made you decide after graduating that coaching was the next move for you?
I think I always wanted to coach. I had a lot of good coaches in my life early on. My high school coach was very impactful in my life and knew that's something I wanted to do. I enjoyed the game
Mhm.
and wasn't ready to, I was done playing with it, but didn't want to give it up completely. So I think
Right.
I always thought I wanted to get into coaching.
Okay. Okay. Well, after graduating, of course, you did go into those high school ranks as a quarterback and receiver coach from 2009, 2011, I want to say. And then after that, you
Yes, I
started
think
working as
so.
a,
It's so long ago, man. It's hard to remember.
you're good. I was going to say, and then after that, in 2011, 2012, you started working as a graduate assistant at East Stroudsburg University. If you can kind of tell me about that experience for you, kind of what you had to do there and some coaches that you might have met that helped you impact where you are now.
Right. When I went to East Stroudsburg, it was a bit of a culture shock for me growing up in North Carolina and then going to the Northeast up in the Poconos. But it was an unbelievable experience. Really
Hmm.
learned about the business, how to coach, how to manage, and it was guys that I worked for up there had been coaching a very long time. I worked for Denny Dowds, who at that time and he still, I think, has coached in more Division II games than anybody in college football. So
Hmm.
he is was very, very experienced, very wise. Was able to work with a guy, Mike Santella. He was the offensive line coach there. Had a huge impact on me. Mike Twilliger, the offensive coordinator, just we learned a ton from those guys, and it was a grind now. It was a lot of work, um, but it was a great experience for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Always got to, stick to that grind and then kind of grow from there.
That's
So
right.
absolutely. Well, after East Stroudsburg, you came to what is it, Tusculum?
Mhm.
And there you were able to coach with four All-American receivers and help, what is it, have the Division II all-time passing leader. Kind of, you can tell me about coaching those guys, how that worked, and then how that kind of helped you branch into, again, where you are now with West Virginia Wesleyan.
Right, right. Those guys, they were a special group. They're very, very, very talented. Justin Houston, he was the three-time All-American receiver, and I'm really close with him still. But the biggest thing for us at that place were the relationships with the kids. We had great
Mhm.
relationships, and they played hard for us. And it was special because when I was at East Stroudsburg, Jimmy Terwilliger was the quarterback years ago when I was playing up there, and he held the record that was
Oh, okay.
broken by the quarterback at Tusculum. So it was really neat
Yeah.
to be a part of all that. But it was I think I learned in my time there the importance of relationships and building relationships with the kids for who they are and not necessarily for what they do, and really getting to know them. And um, but yeah, it was a good time, man. Good time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, congratulations on doing that. That's kind of cool. That's a nice little tidbit that you added in there. I didn't know about that.
Hmm.
So thank you for adding a little bit more context on that one. Well, after that, we're still kind of going through that background. You went to Marysville, where you
Sure.
guys average, what is it, 350 passing yards a game and 30 points a game, which is an insane clip. Uh, so if you can kind of talk about building that offensive culture as well, all again leading
Right.
into where we are now, if you can kind of talk about that as well.
Yeah, we were pretty successful on offense for a couple of years there. We were able to win two conference championships, coach a bunch of good players, went to the playoffs one year. Um, but that place is a little bit different. It's a Division III school, so
Mm,
you really gotta coach. You really gotta recruit hard. You obviously don't have the scholarship money to get guys, so you're really selling yourself, selling your staff, selling your campus and community and everybody involved. And luckily, at a place like that, it was pretty easy to do. But we had a lot of good players, man. It's not all coaching. At the end of the day, you gotta have the guys to do it. So
yeah.
we're able to in 2016, we were able to break the school single season rushing and passing, and had a share of the conference championship that year. So it was a special time. Worked with a lot of good guys. Still buddies with them today.
Hmm.
But it was good. We were decent for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Well, I guess we can kind of shift now from that background going into where you are now, West Virginia Wesleyan. This is your first year here, or is this your second year? Just want to clarify. This your
This
first
is
year?
my first.
This your first. Okay. Well, I
My
do kind of
first.
want to talk about last year because, I don't like to be like all super down and negative, but I will say
Right.
you can always go up from here. Last year was kind of
So
rough. It was an 0-10 year. They averaged what, 8 points a game from what I saw in the stats. But I do kind of want to ask you what your plan is now that you're here at the offensive coordinator position. You kind of have a history of working with guys to kind of build them up and then have explosive offenses. So what's that plan going into camps and then going into the season?
the biggest thing to me is you got to make sure that the kids understand what the mission is, that they complete, or really what the vision is for the
Hmm.
offense, for the team, the vision, mission, and plan. I think it's important that they understand the direction that you want to go, and really break it down to them so they can fully comprehend what we're trying to do with each play, whether it's a zone play or a gap scheme play or whatever it may be.
Right.
If we want them to execute at a high level, I think they got to understand the why,
Hmm.
and then they got to understand the how. And it's our job as coaches, obviously, to make sure that they get that. But the way that we do that in the spring, we were able to really break things down, put it small piece, small piece, small piece, and then big picture, which not only helped them X and O wise, but it helped us, or me really, because the staff was here, but me to really get to know each of the kids by taking
Hmm.
it slow and having individual meetings with them or position meetings with this group and this group and really try to invest into them. Because at the end of the day, like we said earlier, it's the kids that are going to win the games. So
Right.
um, you got to make sure that they believe in the scheme and the vision, mission, and plan.
Yeah. You kind of have that background with receivers. There was a freshman receiver that was here this year that ended up with 41 catches, what is about 463 yards. Excuse me if I can't, say his name correctly. I'm gonna try my best here, but it's Amir Aluashir, I want to say.
I'm a sour. Yeah.
I'm a sour.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's not with us. He's not with us anymore. But yeah, he was a really good player for those guys last year.
Hmm.
And those things offensively, it happens. It's not you know a player or a coach or anything like that. A lot of times those tough years happen, and I've been a part of it. So, but he's not with us anymore. But we've fortunately for us, we've done we've done, I think, a decent job recruiting at that position and been able to sign some explosive guys that we're really looking forward to see here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Well, we can kind of transition into that recruiting because what I saw, you guys had 31 new recruits coming in. So, what
Mhm.
are kind of the plans for some of those guys? Is it to compete? Is it really, we're going to throw a red shirt on you, or what are you kind of looking at?
We have a good group of freshman guys coming in, and we'll
Hmm.
see. We'll let them compete. And we'll see how it goes. Some freshmen at some positions, it's a lot easier to be early than others. Like at wide out, it's a lot easier to play as a freshman than it is offensive line.
Yeah.
So we'll try to manage the roster that way. But a lot of guys that we signed this year, In that group, we've brought in a fair amount of transfers.
Hmm.
So, we have a very good young football team. I really, truly believe that. We have a lot of really good young guys, and they're going to be really good football players,
Yeah.
but we've got to be able to give them time to develop.
Hmm.
So, we wanted to bring in sort of that developmental buffer where we can get some guys in that are
Right.
older that can help us and help these other guys develop. And like I said, I really think our young guys, the guys that we had in spring, I think they're all really good football players, and I think we got a chance with them. We just need to not rush it, and try to do our best to develop them as fast as we can.
Definitely. Definitely. Well, 100% faith that you guys can figure that all out. The
I
guys who
hope
do need to
so.
go on. Oh yeah, yeah. No, I got it. I got it. Who are some players that kind of are returning this year that are kind of still in-house that you feel have that opportunity to really step up and kind of take that role from some guys that might have left last year?
Sure. Kevin Mitchell, our running back, he played last year. He was a freshman. We're expecting a lot out of him. BJ Cook also is a running back. We're expecting a lot out of him. They both had really good springs. Darius Cooper is a wide out. He will be a senior. He played some last year, but he's really stepped into the um, leadership role, so to speak, of
Hmm.
being the guy, right?
Right.
That if we can throw it to Coop, we know he's going to catch it and he's going to make a play for us. So
Right.
we're excited about him. We got our quarterbacks back, which we're excited about, and they've had a good they had a good spring. They've been having good summers.
Hmm.
Plus the new guys coming in. Our offensive line is a year older, which I always have. I always want
Yeah.
older guys at that position. They're a year older. They had a really good spring. They're having a great offseason right now with Coach Gonzalez, and they're doing, he's got them doing meetings and watching film. He's doing a really good job with them. So I think we got enough guys, and we've added some where we can compete. And I think that's the biggest thing. The wins will happen.
Yeah.
The wins will happen. I just want to be in a position where we can go and compete.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, fingers crossed for you guys on competing wise.
Mm.
Hopefully everything goes well for you guys this season. Final couple questions before I let you, kind of go, that you get ready for the season, everything like that. What's some advice that you would give anybody that's listening that wants to be a coach, just like finishing up as a player or getting that degree? What's some things that you would tell them?
Um, the first advice I ever got when I wanted to get into college coaching, I think college coaching is a little bit different than high school coaching, but
Mhm.
I think in coaching in general is you got to get into it for the right reasons. So, what's your why?
Okay.
What is your why? Is your why to make a lot of money and be on TV and do all this stuff? That's fine. But at the end of the day, our why as coaches should be the kids. What are we doing to impact the kids? How can we impact the kids through the game of football?
Mm.
Um, so make sure you get into it with the right motives. I think the other thing is you got to be willing to live like a homeless person. You're not going to make a lot of money doing this, whether you're teaching high school or coaching in college, trying to work your way up. You just got to be willing to do it. And I would say the last thing would be to be patient. Everybody wants that big time job right now,
Mhm.
and it doesn't always happen that way. And then when it doesn't happen for you that way, be patient and remember why you're doing it.
Okay. Okay. Final question. Um, the high school players that are kind of looking for a place to go, do you have any advice for those guys? It can be class of 2025, 2026, even some late, like super late class of 2024. Do you have any advice for
Mhm.
those guys looking for a place to go?
I would say the number one thing would be to make yourself available. All college coaches and recruiting want guys that are available. And being available means academically, you don't have academic issues. Obviously, you got to be able to play. Um, you got to be able to communicate well. If a
Mhm.
coach messages you on Twitter or texts you or calls you, respond.
Right.
right? If he call him back, text him back. So I think the biggest thing is to be available, both on the field and off the field. So when a coach likes a kid or may like you and wants to invest his time, make sure that you reciprocate that. And that's because the hardest thing as a college coach recruiting guys is when you message, you love them and you can't
Hmm.
get in touch with them.
Yeah.
So that would be my
Okay.
biggest advice.
Okay. Thank you, Coach Zimmerman. I appreciate you hopping on, man. Best of luck this season with you and your team. Many wins coming your way.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it. All right. Have a great one.